your goal here is to learn something about yourself and something about others so that you can become a more exceptional communicator. You can move closer and closer to that goal. Every single style has a signature strength. Every single style has what I call a shadow side, things that we need to be focused on if we want to be exceptional communicators. I would never encourage you, nor would I ever want you to become something other than who you are. You've got to show up and be your genuine, authentic self. But you've got to be the best version of yourself, day in and day out. And that means in your communication style. You really have to buff out those growing edges, that shadow side. You really need to take advantage of the signature strengths. Okay? So let's just talk through very briefly. They're right in front of you. First up is the expressive. Expressives are assertive communicators more oriented toward relationships. Think about how important that is from our conversation here today. They're more oriented toward relationships or people. They're generally high energy communicators. If you see two people standing in a hallway and it's almost like a verbal tennis match, back and forth, you might in your mind think, oh, there's two expressives talking to each other. Okay? You might be able to pick out expressives in a meeting. Typically, they'll find themselves sitting next to one another, and if they become bored with the routine nature of the conversation, they will begin a sidebar. Expressives, perhaps more than some other communication styles, really like to be entertained in communication. They like it to be lively. They like it to be about new things or interesting things. They can get bored with more routine conversations. And sometimes the shadow side here is that expressives sometimes can check out of a conversation if it really isn't sufficiently entertaining. Expressives have ideas flying into their mind and off their lips. Sometimes they're tagged with being disorganized in their thinking. It's like this. Oh, okay. Oh, how about this? Oh, how about this idea? Oh, I'm so excited about this. And that's a phenomenal thing. For some other communication styles, it really is, we're moving from A to Z, really quickly. And some other communication styles really find that difficult to follow. And occasionally, expressives can be impatient with other communication styles. So if you're not talking fast enough, how about if I just finish your sentence for you? Oopsie daisy. No harm, no foul there. Next up is the connector. Connectors are less assertive communicators, more oriented toward relationships. Less assertive, more oriented toward relationships. So my connector colleagues are some of our best teamers, and something that is truly a signature strength. By the way, when I walked around earlier, I heard a lot of people talking about, hey, I need to get really better at clear listening. Clear listening. Our connector colleagues are some of the best listeners in our organizations. Okay, so that is just truly a gift. When you take a look at HR studies that say when you do a root cause analysis, 90% of employee problems stem from someone not feeling heard, it tells us that there's probably a listening gap in many of our organizations. Connectors are great teamers because they can really authentically see things from lots of different vantage points. So it goes something like this. Oh, that's a great point by you. Oh, wow, I never thought of it that way. Yes, now that you're saying that, I can really see that being helpful or that being useful. The little shadow side, the edge on that is sometimes connectors can become or can come off as indecisive. So it's like, wow, everybody here has such great ideas. I know it's my decision, but yikes. I'm thinking, no, I can't decide. Your idea is great, and your idea is great, and your idea is great. Now, I'm being a little playful with it, but occasionally that really can come up in the experience. So that's one of those shadow sides. There's a warmth about the connectors' communication. They are our best stewards of relationships. So they really pay attention to what I call cross-pollination, sharing and communicating with other folks. They like to do it. It feels good to them. Another shadow side for our connector colleagues is they have a difficult time sometimes with dust-ups, with confrontation, particularly if it's really like, really, some people, like, they must have been on their high school debate teams or college debate teams. They like that. Connectors, not so much. So they sometimes avoid conflict, and it goes something like, have it your way. All right, we'll try it your way, just to avoid that potential confrontation. So another terrific style. And our organizations, well, let's go back to the expressive. What do you think would happen in your organization if everybody was an expressive? There'd be a whole lot of talking going on and maybe not a whole lot of anything else. What do you think? Well, there'd be a war, okay? How about a whole organization of connectors? Hey, there'd be a lot of harmony. Okay, there'd be a lot of harmony. We'd be singing camp songs in the hallway, running arm in arm with each other. But again, maybe differences of opinion, we wouldn't be able to vet those well. We really wouldn't be as creative as we potentially could be.